Hello, welcome back to Keys to the Kingdom. How you guys doing today? I hope everyone is having a great weekend. Um, I have a word from the Lord today, and it is a good lengthy word. Um, the rise of the prophets. The Lord has had me in Jeremiah for quite some time now, bouncing back from um, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah. But no matter what, it always bounces back to Jeremiah. So, we've got a couple of things that we have to go through. Just bear with me. It's all new to me as well, so I'm going to let the Holy Spirit have his way to be able to deliver this word. Okay? So the first verse is going to come from Jeremiah chapter 1, um, 11 through 19. So I have my word, I have my notes and everything. So if you see me looking down, this is what I'm looking at, my notes here. And I have my verses and stuff over here. So I'm going to read from Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 11 through 19. But first, let me just say this. Um, God uses me a lot with numbers to get my attention on things, to research things. A lot of it is with numbers. He uses a lot of other things too, but mostly the numbers, I guess, because I'm just so used to seeing the patterns in numbers, and just patterns in general always stick out to me. So, um, what caught my eye earlier was 11:11. It was 11:11 on the clock, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm here. You got my attention. 11:11. As I'm, sitting down and just trying to meditate as much as I could, for the moment. Then he gave me 11:44, which and then in tune turned into 1:44 after I was researching it. So 11:11 is a number that we're going to discuss. 1:44, um, 1149, and then there's some others down here. And then once I get down here, it'll make a lot more sense to you. So I'm going to read first. It's going to be Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 11. And what is crazy is sometimes whenever I sit and I don't hear nothing, or like there's no, just a stillness. I don't know how God deals with you, but sometimes if I just sit still and then he'll either say something and then I just can take it from there. But I just pop the Bible open a lot of times. And I popped the Bible open and it went right into Jeremiah, just like this. I highlighted it. I don't know if you can see it. So I opened it, popped it open just like this, and this is where it landed. I was like, okay, Lord. So now we're getting somewhere. So Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 11 through 19. I'm reading from the NLT on this. It says, Then the Lord said to me, Look, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I replied, I see a branch from an almond tree. And the Lord said, That's right. And it means that I am watching, and I will certainly carry out all of my plans. Then the Lord spoke to me again and asked, What do you see now? And I replied, I see a pot of boiling water spilling from the north. Yes, the Lord said, for terror from the north will boil out on the people of this land. Listen, I am calling the armies of the kingdom of the north to come to Jerusalem. I, the Lord, have spoken. I, the Lord, have spoken. They will set their thrones at the gate of the city. They will attack at the walls and all the other towns of Judah. I will pronounce judgment on my people for all their evil, for deserting me and burning incense to other gods. Yes, they worship idols made with their own hands. Get up and prepare for action. Get out and tell them everything I tell you to say. Do not be afraid of them, or I will make you look foolish in front of them. For see, today I have made you strong like a fortified city that cannot be captured. Like an iron pillar or a bronze wall, you will stand against the whole land. The kings, officials, priests, and people of Judah, they will fight. They will fight you, but they will fail. For I am with you, and I will take care of you. I, the Lord, have spoken. Okay? So that's that. Either it's going to be war, it's going to be something that is brewing that God is trying to warn us about in the coming months or the next year, the next few days. We don't know. All we know is that He gives us the information as much as He feels like giving us, and then we have to just take it from there. Okay, so the next verse um, is so let's see, how do I want to go about this? Okay, so the next verse is Jude 11. So, and Jude 11 in the NLT says, what sorrow awaits them, for they follow in the footsteps of Cain, who killed his brother like Balaam. They deceived people for money, and like Korah, they perished in their rebellion. So that was on the number 1111. Oh, see, it's going the wrong way. Let me see. I screenshotted a lot of this, but I think I'm going the opposite direction that I'm supposed to be going in. Yep, that's what it is. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. I thought that would be an easier way to do it, but I guess not. It should have been. Okay, that's 144. All right. Okay, so let me just do this. So 1111 and the Strong's Concordance, not no Raggedy Angel numbers. This is the Strong's Concordance from the Bible, from the Ancient of Days, not New Age. Okay? Okay, so um, the Hebrew meaning for 1111 is Balak, Balak, or Balaq. Um, it means a Moabite king. So either this is where the threat is coming from, or this is the warning that God is trying to adhere to the people. Either they're going to be trying to attack us or something like that. Just bear with me because I had a time trying to unfold this word. So it's a Moabite king. So it says the name Balak appears in the context of the narrative involved in prophet Balaam, the son of Zippor, who was the king of Moab, who sought to curse the Israelites as they journeyed through the wilderness. Okay, so that's who that is. Oh, okay, and then it says Balak intention was to have Balaam curse the Israelites to weaken them, despite Balak's repeated attempts and offers of rewards. Balaam, under divine instruction, ultimately blessed the Israelites instead of cursing them. This narrative highlights themes of divine sovereignty and the futility of opposing God's will. Balak's story is also referred in later biblical texts. Okay. Okay, so we have that. That is a Moabite king, Balak. Keep that in mind. And the next, and that meaning means waster, devastator. And then 144 is perception, discernment, insight, and understanding. Okay, so all of this is basically just tangling all together because God is trying to show us um, how to unfold some of the messages that he's going to be able to tell his prophets to be able to deliver the message. So Jeremiah. Let's see. I had all of this stuff ready, but it's going the opposite direction. So my apologies. So the breakdown from the verse Jeremiah, first chapter 1, verse 11 through 19. So verse 11 through 12, the Hebrew word for almond sounds like watching, and the almond tree is one of the first to bloom in the spring, signifying God's watchful and ready response. This vision assured Jeremiah that God is watching over his word and will ensure its fulfillment. Okay? So God watches over his words performance. That's another reason why we have to use the words as our weapon, as one of our weapons, you know, because he's watching, waiting to perform the word. If you say the word, the angels are coming to be able to perform the word for you or to give you the help you need, or, whatever specific word it is that you're using. So in verse 13 through 16, Jeremiah sees a boiling pot tilted towards the north, symbolizing the foreign army from the north that will bring judgment on Judah because of their idolatry and sin. So think about America and where we're at right now: idolatry and sin. Everything basically that we're surrounded around is idolatry. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, gaming, watching prophetic words, whatever it is, it's idolatry because it's taking up way more time in your day than you're giving to God. Reading the Bible or worshiping or whatever it is. Okay, so in verse 17 through 19, God tells Jeremiah not to be afraid, but to go forth and deliver his message. He assures Jeremiah that he will be with him, strengthen him, and deliver him from his opponents. Jeremiah is described as a fortified Jeremiah is described as a fortified city and an iron pillar, symbolizing his resilience in the face of opposition. And then on 18 through 19, it says, God warns Jeremiah that his people will fight against him, but they will not overcome him. This highlights a difficult mission Jeremiah faces, preaching a message that will be unpopular and cause conflict. Which it doesn't matter if you're if you're a prophet or just a regular person. You're always not just saying that you're a regular person, but just in your regular walk, just even in your before you even came to Christ, you can say something good and somebody is always going to have something to say about it. So you should already be used to that. Somebody's always going to have something to say. You're poor, they've got something to say. You're rich, they've got something to say. You're doing something good, they've got something to say. You're doing something for somebody else, they've got something to say. So that part definitely should not scare you because it's just the way it is. Somebody's always going to have something to say. Don't even be worried about that. But yeah, so the Lord is definitely about to release. He's about to release his prophets, not the internet sensations that call themselves prophets that sit on YouTube all day long and say God said. So again, I'm not here to judge. I'm not the judge or the jury. But the Lord is about to release his prophets. And if you are one of them, you need to take heed. You need to be watchful. You need to be able to get in tune to how the Lord is speaking to you, how he's delivering the word to you, how to break the word down, how dire or emergency the word is, the feeling that you get when you get the words. Like, it's a lot to take in, but the Lord is patient and he will make sure that you understand the word so that you can bring the word forth, and then he'll take it from there. Okay. So The number 144 and the Strong's Concordance came up with cognate. Cognate means perception, discernment, insight, and understanding. So, what do you perceive on this word? What is your discernment on this word? The insight and then the understanding. So, those are like some type of steps that you can use as like a guide or a checklist when God gives you a word. Just like, for instance, he showed me the number 1111. So I know 1111 is something that usually gets my attention. So I try to stop either if I can't just, if I'm out and about or something like that, I try to figure, okay, what is my thinking pattern? What am I thinking about? Where is my heart desire at this moment? Because sometimes that can be like, hey, I need you to snap out of it. I don't need you thinking about this thing right here. I need you to be focused on me, or I need you to do, you know, whatever the situation is at the time. But being the fact that I was home, I knew it was something that he's trying to get my attention to, mainly the word. And it's Saturday, so I'm not working or something like that. So I know it's something that he wants me to sit down and get figured out. So again, cognate, like cognitive, perception, discernment, insight, and understanding. And in, let's see, Philippians chapter 1 verse 9. There's that one again. And it says, and it is my prayer that your love may abound more and more with knowledge and all discernment. Love may abound more and more with knowledge and discernment. So the more knowledge you have, and the more discernment you use, or let that part of you grow. The verse expresses a prayer for the Philippians that their love for God and others should not only increase, but also be informed by knowledge and a keen ability to discern and understand. Discern the word, understand the word, to be able to deliver the word. But you have to allow time. You can't just, especially when you're in your learning phase, and I would just say, just, I don't know, is God's ways is not our ways. His understanding is not our understanding. And it's hard to understand sometimes, and that's just me. But again, we're in the learning stage. We're about to be released, but that's just still the learning stage. Okay. So love may abound more and more. This implies a growth and overflow of love, not just a statistic state, but a dynamic and expanding quality. Knowledge. This refers to a deeper understanding of God's love, character, and will, as well as the nature of spiritual truths. Um, Discernment signifies the ability to discern truth from falsehood, good from evil, and what is truly pleasing to God. That is the ultimate thing, enabling them to make wise and godly decisions. In essence, the verse highlights a prayer for a love that is not merely emotional but also rooted in knowledge and guided by spiritual insight. And to get spiritual insight, that comes with experience. So you have to sit down, you have to focus on the word, get with the Holy Spirit, and feel. A lot of times you can feel, you can, your senses will awaken. That's just me, but I don't know how the Holy Spirit works with you guys, or um, in that area. But like your senses will heighten. You get this feeling. You can tell when you're on the right track. You can tell when the Lord is pulling something, like, okay, yeah, you got it right here. This is where I need you to stay at. You know, so that's that spiritual guidance. Um, all right. So what was my other number? 149. With care, diligently, quickly, carefully. And then 1149 was Dalmatia, Dalmatia, and Dalmatia is in Croatia. So something with Croatia, Yemen and Croatia. So um, the Lord had me to go to Croatia. So Croatia, mm, so how did I get to Yemen? So I was looking up also 144. I know I'm all over the place, bear with me, but my notes are all messed up from the phone part. So 144 in Hebrew was Adar, which was the 12th month on the Hebrew calendar. And the month of Adar was March 1st through March the 29th of 2025. So I don't know if this is a word for something that has started and is about to unfold now, or is this something for the month of Adar going forward for 2026? So I'm just going to stamp that right there and let you know because, again, this is all new to me. So um, the month of the number 144 in Hebrew is Adar. So that was another number that he showed me, 144. So that is the 12th month, and that is around March. So for 2025, it was March 1st through March the 29th. And then Nisan is March the 30th. Was March, the month of Nisan was March the 30th to April the 29th of 2025. So this is already gone. So I'm like, okay, so what does this have to do with uh, the releasing of the rise of the prophets? And then it the 149 was Dalmatia. So when I looked up Dalmatia, it was Dalmatia. Dalmatia was like a as it's this. It's like in Croatia. It's like the island of Croatia. So I'm like, well, what does Croatia have to do with the United States? And no, so what I did was I looked up, what type of threats or something like that was focused towards us to harm the U.S. or whatever. So something came up with Yemen in March. So let's go back to this. So what I googled was what countries or territories, um, basically had beef with us or made a threat towards us around March to April of 2025, which would be that month of Adar and the month of Nisan. So it's something in between there. So when I looked, it said something about let's see, where was I going with this first? Yemen. So this was March the 16th of 2025. March 2025. So it says in March 2025, Yemen's Houthi, Houthi, I don't even know how to say that. Uh, Houthi rebels poses a significant threat to the U.S. Um, includes including the Red Sea, a vital shipping route. U.S. President responded with an expanded military campaign against them. This campaign involved airstrike on them on their infrastructure, command centers, and weapons depots, aiming to degrade their capabilities and restores freedom of navigating in the Red Sea. So that was a something that happened in March. So either this is something that is about to unfold as a result of that. So whatever happened, Yemen did something to the shipping containers, um, the shipping boats, and then the U.S. did an airstrike. So I then said, well, what does Yemen has to have to do with Croatia? Because this is what the Lord is showing me, Croatia. So Yemen and Croatia. Mm, Yemen and Croatia on the map. Okay. So, Yemen to Croatia. So if you look on here, they're really not that far apart. And there's like a sea that runs right between from one end to the other. So I don't know if this is going to have something to do with trade or if this is going to have something to do with war, but there is some type of warning that is going out between Yemen and Croatia or the surrounding countries, which will be, let's see what's around there. There's Ukraine, Germany, Italy is right there, and Saudi Arabia on the southern side, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Turkey, and Egypt. So those are the things, the countries that are right around in that area where that body of water is, which I'm assuming, their trade route. So I looked up the distance between Yemen and Croatia was 4,522 kilometers, which equals to 2,810 miles. So when I looked up the 4,000, 4,522 in the Strong's Concordance, um, it came up with forced labor, a burden attacks in the form of forced labor. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. I would just keep my eye out for that. And on the Greek side, it came up with dragnet. So dragnet is a term used in the New Testament to describe a type of fishing net that is cast into the sea to gather a large number of fish. It is specifically mentioned in the context of parables to illustrate the kingdom of heaven. Jesus uses the imagery of a dragnet to describe the kingdom of heaven. Once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a dragnet that was cast into the sea and caught fish of every kind. Okay, so that is my word. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be something that's going to unfold in that area right there, or if um, it's something to do with judgment in that area, in those countries, them against us against them. It could go anyway. If I get more insight on it, I will come back to the video and extend it or do another video on it. But again, this is the word, how I was able to put it together because it was coming in so fast till I'm trying to write it down as I'm trying to research it and all of that. But again, the rise of the prophets, God is about to bring us to the forefront. So it is time to get with the Lord to figure out how it is that He wants you to be able to put the words together. Again, perception, discernment, insight, understanding. perception, discernment, insight, understanding. And then God will add his super to our natural. Okay. All right. That's all I have. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a great upcoming week. Again, thanks for stopping by. Keys to the Kingdom. You guys have a great weekend. Bye bye.